I dealt with a lot of mental health symptoms in my life. I had depression, I had anxiety, I had ADHD, PTSD, all these things. But what I realized is that a lot of this was actually linked to what I was eating. It was linked to the foods I was eating. I was eating too much wheat that was causing me to become hyperactive, to become aggressive. You know, I was eating too many eggs that was making me tired. It was making my eyes heavy. The dairy was making me foggy. You know, the processed foods were making me uncomfortable, unable to sit still, restless, all that. The foods I was eating were absolutely affecting my mental health, and then didn't even realize it. So I would just go to a mental health professional and say, hey, what do I do about this? And then they give me medication. They say, oh, you have ADHD. Well, not even realizing that I'm eating nothing but processed food, meat, wheat, dairy, all the common trigger foods. And this is the reality. When you have a mental health condition, a lot of it can't actually be tamed down by what you're eating. If you're eating mostly fruits, vegetables, rice, potatoes, beans, lentils, you're staying away from the dairy, eggs, nuts, seeds, gluten, processed foods. And yes, I did say meat and nuts and seeds, because nuts and seeds, to me, they can produce significant issues. You know, nuts and seeds are the most allergenic food category of all. And if you have issues with nuts and seeds, guess what? You could have issues like me. You could have, I used to have restless leg from it. I used to have hyperactivity. I used to become aggressive. I used to have racing thoughts from almonds. You know, what happens is when you don't break these foods down well, little bits of them go through your gut barrier into your bloodstream, and your immune system creates a response to them. In addition, people who have mental health symptoms typically have a dilated brain-blood barrier. So whenever you have these food molecules go into the blood, they'll go into the blood, into the brain, and cause neurological inflammation, which alters the neurotransmitters. And then you're in a situation where you're going up and down. You're wondering why. Why am I going up and down throughout my day? It's possibly what we're eating. It could be the preservatives in the foods. It could be the foods themselves. It could be the extra ingredients that they use to try to make them taste better. It could be the spices, the herbs. Things that increase histamine can increase neurological symptoms, mental health symptoms, and there's tons of foods that can either contain histamine or increase histamine. But the ones you really, really want to watch out for, like I said, are going to be your dairy, your eggs, your nuts, your seeds, your gluten, too much meat, processed foods, spices, herbs, you know, those packaged crappy foods that you know aren't good for you, you know. This is really critical. If you want to be able to heal your mental health condition, take responsibility for it. Take responsibility for your dietary choices, because it's not just all up to this pill to fix you. You know, things even like bipolar. Another thing I'm going to mention outside the diet is environment. I'll just say for 1 second, if you have issues with mental health, you got to look into mold. You got to look into mycotoxins. They can be causing neurological inflammation, which can keep this situation going, keep your symptoms activated. That's what happened to me. It's what I realized was the real root cause of all my food intolerances was actually a mold intolerance, which made me hypersensitive to the foods, which caused this cascade of symptoms that I called a mental health condition. So thanks for watching, everybody. My website is endsickness.org. Go to my website, look at my hundreds of videos, hundreds of articles teaching you how to heal yourself. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Take care.